Kevin from Providence, Rhode Island, 18 years old. I drive the 1993 Honda Civic. One time I went to go camp for the playoff eights it was. I think it was like 2011 and those shoes released. I got to the store. I went with my brother-in-law. We got to the store and there was that many people there. So he's like, "Yo, let's go for a ride." So I'm like, "All right." So we went for the ride. He ended up taking me back to the post offices here where they used to race back then. We got there and that's what caught my attention for everything. I started looking into it. A year went by. I started looking more into videos of car racing. And then by the time I was my 14th birthday, I was going to turn 14, and then I got into a car accident. My mom, the hood lifted up in the car. It was a bad accident. I went to therapy, and then we ended up getting some money. So I'm like, I had already in my mind, this is what I wanted to do. I stepped away from soccer. I started stepping away from sneakers and all that. I just wanted to focus myself on cars. And that's what I really wanted to do. So I told my dad. He always supported me. My mom and dad been the biggest support always. So I told my dad, I'm like, hey, with this money, I want to buy this car. I want to start building a car. I ended up coming across some kid named Andy. Uh, I asked him, I'm like, hey, do you know anybody who has a car? And he told me, oh yeah, I have my friend Kika actually has one. So I went, I looked at the car, I liked it, I knew this was the right car, so it was $800 for the car, cheap car. So I was like, yeah, let's get it. And I told my dad, let's grab it. And I brought it home. Kika was like, oh yeah, anything you need with the car, just shoot me a call. I was young, I was like 14 at that age. The first thing I did was park it, started taking it apart, doing little mods like putting an intake on it, nothing crazy. I started doing little videos, started building up my Instagram, Facebook, always posting pictures of the car. I never did nothing crazy with it. Then after that, I think it was like 2016. I'd seen a lot of people always doing engine bays, so I was like, I want to try this out. I took the motor out, did the engine bay on the car, put the single cam back in. Luckily, I didn't know much about it, so I went and I put water in the valves, ended up messing the motor up. So when we put the motor back in, it wasn't running right. So we took it out, and then my friend's like, "Oh yeah, I got this dude. He's selling an LS swap." Then I went, I bought that LS swap, put it in there, turned on fine, it was ready to go. Started driving that around. I thought I was the fastest kid in the world. After that, it came 2017. I started seeing everybody with the K series. I liked the motor. I ended up meeting this guy, and he always used to have the parts. So I went. And I was like, "Hey, you got a swap?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he sold me everything for a good price. So I started going. I started doing the car K series. I actually took the car to Navedo's Auto Body. Then those are my people. That's where I work. They always take care of me. Always took care of me from day one. So they ended up painting the engine bay and the interior of the car. Then we just ended up painting the whole entire car. The K series went in there. After that, it was just like people started looking up to me. A lot of people always DMing me questions about the K series. I was at that age I was 16, so everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this kid always doing it big." So I went. I started giving my advice to people. That's mostly what I want. That's my plan in the game, to motivate people, help people out as much as I can. After that, I just kind of lost motivation for all the car show, and I wanted to lean more to racing. And then I started just like looking up racing and racing. So then what I did was a coupe. I just started street racing it. I see all the people all the time racing the street, and I just wanted to try it out. So I went, did my first pass, and I was like everybody says, that one pass that changes you. So I started racing the car after that, and then I started like leaning more towards the track. I started seeing all these track cars, and I just liked it. So I bought a black EK hatch. I started building it. I did the engine bay on it. Bought a whole new front end, doors, stripped it completely. Nothing. It was just a bare chassis. I got a call one day and my boy's like, "Hey, you looking for a shell?" I didn't want to say no, so I'm like, "Hey, what kind of shell do you have?" And then he told me, he's like, "Oh, I have a 93 EG. It's a full track car." I went and checked the car out. When I went to check the car out, he's like, "Oh, this car's clean. It's ready to go. The shell's already been on the track before this year." So I'm like, "Hey, let's do it. Let's see." So I went home. I didn't know what to do. Like I had the black hatch that I wanted to do on the track, and then I had this other hatch on the other side of me telling me to get it. So I didn't know what to do. So my boy had bought a black EK hatch. It was all rotted. It wasn't in the best condition. So my first thing to mind was call him. So I called him, and then I'm like, "Yo, I'll sell you my hatch." And he's like, "Which one?" I'm like, "The black one." As soon as I went to drop the car off, I went right to the other house, went bought the car, which was a green EG. I bought it off him, and brought it to the house. And the car was all beat up, so I'm like, yeah, it had cracked windows, interior was all messed up, wiring was bad. So I started fixing everything little by little. I just wanted to focus on the track. I had forgot all about show car at this time. I just wanted to drive on the track. So I just started driving on the street little by little, and then after that, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to end up losing my license or getting into trouble for racing on the street. So I just want to stay straight to a track for events. And then what I did was I just sold the coupe, which was a street car. I sold that, and then I put it on Facebook. And then some a guy there, he hit me up. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come check it out." He came and checked it out. After that, he looked at it, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, that green EG that's in your garage. I'm the one that went to go get that car in New York." So I had went on Gunner Tuesday with Ghost Boyaki. I had went on Gunner Tuesday, and he's like, "Oh, that car looks familiar from here, from New York." And I'm like, I had no idea. I knew that the car was from New York, that it had came there from one point because the title is from New York. So he's like, "Yeah, that car looks familiar." So I just had it in mind. It was a green EG. So what's crazy was that the guy that came to buy the coupe shell, he's like, "Yeah, I'm the guy that went to pick that car up in New York. We're the ones that brought it here." So he's like, "Check this out," and he showed me some videos. He sent some videos over, and he's like, "Look, that's the car." And I'm like, "No way, it can't be that car." And he's like, "Yeah, that's the car." And I'm looking at the sticker on the hood. There was a nice one sticker. Then on the windshield, there was a competition clutch sticker because there was a crack on that windshield, and they just put it to cover it, I guess. So I'm looking at it. That's exactly the car. And which was crazy was that I pulled up my phone and I showed him on my liked videos on my YouTube account. It was this car. This is the car that like got me into the whole scene when I was back in 2011 when I used to watch the racing.
I ain't feeling nervous. I just want to fuck that car up, and that's all I want to feel.
My plans and goals for this car this year, 2019, is just to get it to the track. My plan and I hope my goal is to reach at least to get a 1099 pass. I don't care what it is. I just want a 10-second pass. 1099, I'll be more than happy. And honestly, whether the car does 10s or whether it does 15 seconds, I'm still going to have the same smile. I'm still going to be happy because at the end of the day, that motor, I put it together as a school project because I'm in automotive school. And then I had to do a senior project, which was what I've learned in 4 years. So I just wanted to like step on my comfort zone, and then I wanted to build a motor. So I leaned towards that. I started building the motor. I built the motor from oil pan to the valve cover. Everything is done by me. Everything literally except machine work because I don't have the machines to do it. But other than that, like I'm saying, if I can get that 1099 or that 15, I'm still gonna be the same happy kid, same smile. I want to give a special thanks to Navedo's Auto Body, Jose Diaz, Christian Diaz, all my people there. It's where I work, and they're the reason why this car is done. They help a lot, always been there for me since day one. I want to give a shout out to MH Tuning, which is my tuner. Mark goes out of his way to make sure this car is all set up and done. It wouldn't be possible without him to get this car even started. Go Def Motorsports, my boy Andrew over there, always helping out, getting me good deals on parts, always helping me out when the car has an issue. And lastly, lastly but not shortly, I want to give a special shout out to Enrique Morales Kike, the one I got the coupe from, and then that's the man that's taught me everything I know. Like I bought the coupe from him when I was 14 years old. He told me to, if I ever had a question, to hit him up. A couple weeks later, I needed help putting some fog lights. I didn't know how to wire them. Called him up, came through, helped me. Ever since, we just stayed in contact, helping me out. Then he ended up moving into my house like 2 years after. We shared the garage. We put the K-Series cars together. Ever since that, I can say he's like a second dad to me. always helping out, and any problem I have, any help I need, it could be 3 in the morning. He'll come over and help me out. Thanks a lot, Keek.